Hi, this is Maya from Kinspired Life, and today we're gonna focus on what to do when your manifestations aren't happening. So, considering that I've been manifesting my reality consciously for quite some time now, I get asked this question quite a lot from my clients and my audience on my social media. What to do when your manifestations aren't happening? What does that really mean? So, here is what I can tell you immediately. First of all, when your manifestations aren't happening, it can mean that you are subconsciously blocking it. You're energetically not available for this manifestation to come to you right now. Perhaps it's something that is quite big and it takes a while for such a big thing that is far from your current reality to manifest. So you need to give the universe a little time for it to rearrange the reality in that way so it suits your wishes. Another thing can be that even though consciously you really want to do it and you really want to have that thing, but on a subconscious level, there are a lot of limiting beliefs that are still blocking you from having it. The first thing that I would do is check in with myself and check what is actually the belief behind it. What are the thought patterns that are coming up? What am I feeling in the moment? And then working through them. What I normally use is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or tapping. You may have found some of my tap-alongs on YouTube and on my social media because I really love that technique, and I love that it's so quick and efficient, and it really shifts my mindset very quickly. So I always work through that. I usually do some journaling and combine affirmations with tapping to clear any resistance. And then I refocus my energy on what I do want to manifest to get it. And third thing that can be the reason is really the divine timing and trust issue. The thing is, like, when you're manifesting consciously, you really need to release the how and the when. Everything else you can specify if you want. The more room you allow the universe to bring it to you, meaning don't be really specific. That's, like, for my opinion, if you're trying to control your manifestation too much and really be super specific, sometimes it can be good if it's possible, but sometimes it can just block the manifestation again, because then you're not allowing the universe to surprise you. And trust me, surprises are good. Actually, oftentimes they are better than you could have ever imagined. So I say allow yourself a little room to be surprised, because you might discover that the final solution might be way better than you could have imagined. So the two things that you need to release is definitely the when and the how. The when, really trust divine timing. Sometimes it really needs more time for everything to be arranged. For example, I wanted to manifest an apartment in the same street where I lived. I was living in an apartment that was temporary, and I knew it from the beginning. That was our deal. But meanwhile, I decided I wanted to stay in Paris. My whole personal situation shifted, so there was no reason for me to leave anymore. So I decided to find a more permanent place. I really wanted to stay in the same street as before, because I really love this neighborhood. So that's very specific. And I actually even found 2 apartments almost immediately within a month or so. But one of them was too small and one of them was too big and way over my budget. So it was somewhere in between what I was needing. So I decided to trust divine timing to allow this apartment to be available for me. And guess what? I found it within a few months, so it took a bit longer than I expected, but I really always remained in trust. And what happened was that I moved a few blocks, actually just like 2 blocks down, in the same street. So I'm actually currently in the same street where I used to live, which is crazy that I went back to the same street. Everybody, like, nobody can believe that I actually did that, but I really refused to change my address. However, this particular one wasn't available when I needed it. It was available only later, but just because it had to be renovated. I could have moved into a different apartment, into a different neighborhood. But because I was patient and I was trusting, I got an apartment in the same street like I wanted to. It was in my budget, it was the right size for me, and it was fully renovated, which it wouldn't have been if I had pushed it earlier. So trust the divine timing, because it will be way better than you could have imagined. Okay, so that's one thing. And the when, releasing the when. And the how, oftentimes the solution comes in miraculous ways. I've had so many examples in my life that prove exactly the same thing. So one time I was confident that I had to go to Dubrovnik, which is a town in my country, and I bought a one-way ticket, and I knew that I had to get a job over the summer and an apartment, which is, by the way, a really difficult mission to accomplish in high season, because it's so crowded and it's really expensive. So I was sure, because I was guided to go there, but I didn't know how I was gonna sort it out. So to cut the story short, because it's gonna be a long story, basically I lost the apartment, the temporary apartment, within 24 hours. I was practically homeless and jobless. So I was really confused as to what this meant, because I didn't know how I was going to sort out the situation. But I tuned into trust. I really decided to trust and let go of any resistance and just relax and trust that something will come. And I just went out, I met some people. Of course, I was talking to people, telling them that I needed a place to stay and I needed a job. And it was really funny because the next day I just went to the beach again to chill out and surrender and, trust the universe that everything's working out. And as I was swimming in the sea, just chilling out, I basically met this girl who was looking for a person for this particular job that I was actually qualified to do. So I got the job while I was swimming in the sea, which was obviously very unexpected, let's say, and not as I would have normally planned it. And secondly, the apartment arrived through a friend of a friend who I met the night earlier and who offered me a room, which was kind of crazy. And I ended up staying in this friend's place for 3 weeks. I got a job that was really well paid within 24 hours after I lost everything. And I actually made some really good friends in the process. So I really encourage you to be open to surprises and surrender your idea of how it should all play out. Seriously, I have experienced so many miraculous solutions that I could never have planned, ever. And even if I could, it would never have been so good. And it's just so nice to be surprised. So I would really say, first thing, trust divine timing. Allow the universe to bring it to you when it's ready for you. And trust that it will come in the best possible time, because you don't know when is the best possible time. Trust me, you don't know. And when you give that up, when you surrender, then it's just really easier for the universe to bring it to you. Second thing is really check in with yourself and see if there are any internal mental blocks or energy blocks that are blocking it. And work through them. Journal on it, tap them out. Use EFT, use whatever tool you find comfortable using that works, and just release that energy. And I would say finally, really surrender to the miraculous solutions and allow yourself to be surprised. Once you let go of that resistance and the need to control everything, it's gonna happen. It's gonna come much easier. So I hope this helps, and I hope your manifestations come true very soon. I hope divine timing is serving you well. And if you have any questions about this topic, or if you would like me to address something else around the law of attraction, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do another video on the topic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Namaste, and I'll see you in the next video.